Welcome to Sacred Magic. Violet is on a quest to bring sacredness back into our everyday experiences. Anyone can have an extraordinary life when they are able to tap into their sacred magic within. Violet and her guests will be sharing their divine passions, inspirations, and stories of connecting with their sacred magic. We are so happy you have joined us today. Let's get started with your host, the magical creator of Discover Your Spiritual Gifts, Vialet Rayne.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sacred Magic Podcast. I'm your host, Vialet B Rayne, and my host today is Kitsy Higgins. She is a manifesting master and an intuition expert who helps women create their dream life. After witnessing the impact she was making locally with her channeling business, she moved online in 2017 to make a difference worldwide. During that time, she experienced a life-altering transformation that allowed her to reclaim her authenticity, confidence, power, and authority. When she's not spending time with her two boys, traveling the globe, or recording digital classes, she's organizing her two events in Pittsburgh, the Three Rivers Psychic Fair and the Paris Affair. Welcome to the show, Kitsy. We're so glad to have you on here.
Thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
Talk to me a little bit on your journey. What got you to want to do these events, to be that manifesting master? Because I'm sure everyone listening wants to manifest their dreams. So share with us what that journey was. What got you to do what you do today?
So, this might not be the answer you might be expecting. I think sometimes we as women, we as people, we can't see our own gifts and we can't actually see how we're helping people because we're too much in it. And sometimes having that person be like, do you realize that your life is like this? And you're like, no. Do you realize you're an anomaly in this matrix system? No. Am I? So for me and that journey for myself, it was more of having a business coach be like, well, right now you are kind of like life and business coachy. She's like, but it sounds like you have a really weird life. And it sounds like you've manifested something really good. And then she's like, if you could look at your business as a house, what would it be like? And I said, well, I feel like it's like my house right now. I'm like, it's an anomaly. It's in this zip code that's like in this perfect spot where it's like affordable and it's a big house, but it's so close to everything. And it's an amazing house and I really enjoy it. And she's like, okay, well then yeah, that sounds like, you've just manifested something weird and different. And that's like what you do. Is that like you manifest stuff that is kind of different and against the grain and not the norm. And I was like, oh, yeah, I guess that does make sense. I I quit my full-time job uh almost, well, 13, we'll just say 13 years ago when my son was on my lap. And I invited in my guides and angels and I said, what was my next step? And I heard quitting hospice. And then I had to get a job, I think, for a year and a half over those years, over those 13 years. But other than that, I haven't had a job or full-time job. I have a very interesting life. It is travel. It is just today I danced for like a good hour in my living room. Like, I'm cleaning my house. I was late with Easter decorations or Easter stuff, so I'm going to do that today too, for my kids. So while people are working a 9 to 5 job and doing, the in the box, what everyone else is doing, I'm totally living a whole different life. So, it's learning how my life and the weirdness of it, I can help other people with it. And then also not including that whole journey of what I gained over those years, the last 9 years, where I'm able to just become more authentic, and I'm really getting more embodied into my body and into my feminine, which is beautiful too. I think that's what's missing in this world.
I love that. I love that story. And isn't it true? Sometimes we have all these things, and people on the outside looking in are like, wow, I wish my life was like that. And we're like, what? What life? What? Really? My life? I think that's very, very true to a big extent, because I have that same experience where people look into my center, my life, who I am, what I'm doing. And they're like, wow, I'd really love to have that. And I think having that space of gratitude always, of I'm very thankful that I get to do this. And I find myself every once in a while just pausing and going, okay, I'm really grateful. I know a lot of people dream, pray, wish for pieces that I have today that they would love to have. And I'm very grateful for
Yeah.
where I'm at and what's happening. And I think a lot of it personally is mindset and guidance. And I'm not sure that everybody understands that you create your own reality. And I know there's lots of
Mhm.
people listening right now that'd be like, there's no way I would have created this. You do.
Mhm.
Depending on what you're thinking, what you're saying, what you're putting out, what you're putting out in the world, what you're focusing on. And if it's negative and lack and I don't have, you're going to keep creating that space. And it takes real awareness to
Yeah,
shift
it
those
really does.
thoughts, right?
Yeah. Well, and I think also too, going a step farther with that is also not accepting other people's judgments about our life. Because I don't know about you, but like there's family members or there's friends or family that are like, oh, like you want that, you can't achieve that, like that's impossible. And so dealing with the naysayers who just think like, that's gonna, you'll never be able to have that, and it's like, I will, don't worry. Like, maybe other people can't, but I can. um I think it's a really good time for divine feminine, or just feminine mystery type of things, where I think, society has either downplayed it and or hid it, and I think people are just craving that. So as much as to other people it's like, oh well, you can't achieve this, it's like, you don't get what's behind me. You don't get what's behind her. Like there's some powerful, beautiful energies that are behind us, that is pushing for us to bring out these beautiful gifts and heart-led ideas and businesses that I think the world and society needs the most right now.
And I love that. Heart-led businesses. Here's the thing. Here's what I see, my opinion. I always tell people, you don't have to believe what I believe, okay? We have spent years and years and years wanting to be men. We
Mm.
want their pay, we want their lifestyle, we want their jobs, we want their recognition. We have spent years and years as women shutting down the beauty that we hold within to
Mhm.
step into a masculine role that's not our role. Okay? It's
Mhm.
really not.
Mhm.
Heart led, compassion, nurturing, creative is our energies. Okay?
Mhm.
When we were created as men and women, the men were the ideas. The women are what created. It's a combination of partnership. You need balance of both. And I know when I worked in an executive role, I couldn't be sensitive. I couldn't be heart led. I couldn't cry in a meeting when I let somebody go. I couldn't show compassion, right? Because that's not how a man operates. They're very structured, very organized, very going for what they want, and we're all very nurturing and let's all be heart and sit. And it's two different things, and you need both. You need both perspectives. You need both energies. You need to be balanced. You need to understand the difference, which is really interesting because Spirit has led me to do a retreat this year in Woodland Park about bringing back the feminine, the balance for
Mm-hmm.
women to find and understand what is masculine, what is feminine, what is the differences, how do we step more into who we're supposed to be, because that's where your power is,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
It's so amazing. One of the biggest, well, there's two things that I've really done to get back into my body, which is like 2 or 3 times a day saying, what am I feeling? And allowing just to whatever come up to acknowledge it, and then to be like, why am I feeling like this? So it's allowing you to get out of your head and to drop into that body or into your body. And then the other thing I is to say also of what am I experiencing or what am I sensing? And I know for me, I have this knee thing lately. It's really weird. It feels like, or I'm experiencing as though like, like I had surgery on my knee, even though if I didn't, and it's like this weird piece. I can feel it. There's a bump to my knee. I'm like, this is so weird. But so daily, I will do like a somatic exercise of saying, what am I experiencing? And so you stay away from saying, oh, I'm feeling a knee pain. It's saying, I'm experiencing or I'm sensing a knee pain. And so you're getting into your body, so feminine, and then allowing yourself to acknowledge what you are experiencing and what you are sensing. And again, it's super weird with my knee thing. I don't know what's happening. Uh, but I trust whatever it is. And I also have learned too that by doing those type of exercises of saying, like, what am I experiencing with my body, that over time it can go away. So where other people would be like, oh, well, I have a knee problem, and then they never get over it. That sometimes if you continue being detached and you just continuously say, I'm experiencing or I'm sensing this, that over time it eventually goes away. And I had, I guess plantar fasciitis is normal. After like a year and a half, it does go away, but um, that's stopped. There's just been other weird pains and weird things that you're like, this is never going to change. And it changes. So it's like, I think so many people get stuck on like, oh no, this pain's going to be like this forever. And you're like, why are you choosing that? Like, choose another option. Like, realize that it's a possibility that that could eventually move. It's just a block that you're having. Do you agree?
I do, and they're messages, right, in our body. Our body
Mhm.
is trying to communicate with us on a regular basis. And for me,
Mhm.
when I have those different things, and I'm looking at Louise Hay's book, what is it about knees? What is it about my heart? What is it about my left side? What is it about blah blah blah? I want to know the because every pain, every illness, everything that comes into our physical body starts with an emotion or a thought. So, what have
Mhm.
I been thinking? What is the emotion that I need to work through? Because if you can work through it and naturally release it, it all goes away. There's
Mhm.
also, I love the choice thing because I talk about this a lot. You go to the doctor, and the doctor gives you a diagnosis, and you take that on as yours. And I always go, nope, not mine. I'll take care of it, but that's not mine. And I rework the pattern, rework the thoughts, rework the emotions because I don't accept that as my outcome. I'm going to have a different outcome, right? And I talk a lot about I'm going to live to a very old age, and I'm going to be healthy, and I'm going to be mentally clear all
Mhm.
the way up to the last time, and I'm going to pass in my sleep. Period. Done. Declared. Nothing dramatic, no slow suffering. I don't accept any of that. I get to choose
Mhm.
how I leave this plane, and I got to choose how I came in. And if you can declare that and honestly know that, I am not going to be a burden. I am not going to have suffering. I am not going to have any of that. I'm going to be healthy till the end. I'm going to be mentally clear till the end. I'm going to go in my sleep very peacefully when I am ready. And that is what I choose for my life.
I love it.
Right? We are powerful, powerful creators and beings. We are so magical and we forget. We forget how magical and how sacred we really are to be able to move through this. And I love earlier when you're talking about don't let people influence you. They
Mhm.
will weaken that wall of yours if you allow them to. It's like, nope, done, declared, I'm finished. I don't have to think about, nope, don't believe any of that. And there's truth in all that if you choose that, right?
Mhm.
It is your right to create the life you want. But the other thing of that is you got to disconnect from all that craziness that's out there in the world. If you're really curious and dug into that, you're never going to move forward. You're just not.
Yep.
That fear based mental piece, right, is not going to help you. Conspiracy theories and what's going on and pulled into all that stuff out there. Wrap a container around you. I'm a creator. I don't care what's going on out here. I'm safe. I'm secure. Life is good. I'm going to create joy and happiness in the middle of the storm. And I'm going to be standing here dancing in my living room like Kitsy. And you guys are going to be worried about the world out there. And I got this.
I know. I know. It's so funny. I love what you said. That's so perfect. It's funny because I was at the airport a few days ago and I kept cracking jokes and I with people. And it was kind of like perfect. It was like the perfect setup. And I was feeling guilty that I was interrupting people. And I realized afterwards that I was feeling guilty that I was interrupting people. And but they were laughing. They thought it was funny and they like connected with what I said and you could they really enjoyed it. You know, they really laughed. And so I came home and I thought to myself, you know, why was I feeling guilty that I was interrupting them? And I thought, well, the one side of me was like, you know, well, you know, they're doing something. I've interrupted their life and like I shouldn't do that. And then I thought on the other hand, or like my higher self was like, what if maybe they were having a moment of sadness or a moment of like a Debbie Downer moment where they're just like, I hate my life, or this is horrible, or this is scary, or whatever. And by me joking with them and them like really connecting with it, that was what they needed, not the other way around. And I was like, oh, okay. It still makes me feel uncomfortable a bit interrupting people. And I still want to be like, I'm sorry for interrupting. But it's like I I I was at Starbucks recently, at the local Starbucks I go to, and the person was like, "You are the best thing around." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And she's like, "You are the best person that comes in here." And she's like, "Every time you come in here, you bring joy, and there's almost like no one else like that comes in here." And it was almost like too much of a compliment to have received it. I was like, "What? But I was like, oh, okay. It was really appreciative hearing that because it validated kind of, I guess, essentially what my innerness wants to be doing in its life. But it's like what you said, where it's like, you know, we're going off doing our thing, having joy, and just going about life. And you know, people can be scared and they can be looking at the news all the time. But maybe, just maybe, we can, you know, have those few minutes where we uplift them and or raise their vibration to humor, to joking, and that I think each time we touch people and each time we do something that's playful and fun and saying, hey, life isn't just all mean and difficult and hardship. that you never know what type of difference you're making.
That's true. That's true. And when we laugh, when we dance, when we play,
Yeah.
we raise our vibration higher and higher. So then that low vibration of grief and shame and wounds and pains and heartache, it can't exist in that higher vibration. It doesn't exist. And so it allows people, and every time we do that, it's a ripple effect. It's a ripple
Mhm.
effect to everyone around. If you really want to make a difference today in this world, this is how to do that, because we need more of us laughing and dancing and playing and doing crazy stuff, like connecting
Yeah.
with your inner child and
Yeah.
getting out and having fun. If we could get the whole planet just to start doing that, the rest of that crap would go away, because it can't exist in
Yeah.
that energy field. It can't be in that field.
Yeah.
And so, I think for a lot of us, it's our job to set to move the energy. We can
Oh,
affect it one by one to move it across the planet. It's really, really important. And
yeah.
so if you're sitting in grief or pain or heartache or wound, know that that's a low vibration. You don't have to be there. And I get
It's still important to feel it. It's still
it is
important to
important.
acknowledge it, but then also to move through it, to be like, what can I learn from this? What do I need? And or how can I shift this? So still be in it, and then raise from it.
But don't get stuck in it. So many
Yeah.
people don't ever get out of it.
Yeah.
You're meant to feel it. You're meant to have that moment. I have those moments. I'm sure
Mhm.
Kitsy has those moments. We
Yeah, we
all
have them
have
all the
those
time.
moments. But
I just
when
went
we
for a walk.
recognize, I know for me, when I recognize I'm in that moment, it's like, okay, Susie Q, put on your big girl panties. We're going to move out of this, because this isn't benefiting me or anyone else. Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for learning. The whole purpose of your life is how you react to the experiences you're having. The
Mm,
real purpose of your life is, how do you react to the experiences you're having? Do you honor them, lean into them, feel them, acknowledge them, learn from them, and move through? Or do you get triggered and spiral, get stuck, make it worse, right? For every challenge, every disaster, step back and say, okay, I was supposed to experience this. What am I learning? What do I need to know? Let's move through this with grace and ease. Grace and ease, folks. Grace and ease. You have choice. Always able to choose how you react and how you move through things. It is a choice. So, that is me today. So, talk to us, Kitsy, about reclaiming your power, and how you're also a channeler, which we don't get a lot of channelers on the show. What do you mean by channeling? And share, so that I'm sure everyone's had those moments where they've channeled something and that was not the label they used for it. Does that make
yeah.
sense?
Yeah. So I think you're channeling right now too. I mean, I think just both of us, just allowing us to be free flowing. To me, I think that's channeling. It's learning the things that we're learning, and then being put on the spot to be like, and you say whatever you say. So whether if you're passionate about, what we're talking about, or you're passionate about, the feminine and masculine or whatever, it's that time where it's like you've learned all this stuff, and now it's like you're on point. Like now you got to be speaking on the moment, fast and to the T, and to stick to the topic. So I think there's a lot of people that are channeling, and I think especially if we're in like our zone of genius, or our zone of excellence, that we're able to, because we're so knowledgeable, or we know we probably had those almost 10,000 hours, that we're able to come up with information that is on the spot. I think reclaiming your power, I think there's many different ways to do that. Just recently, I heard that when you are focused on yourself, so, you have like all this stuff happening in your life, and you just say, okay, I'm whole, I'm detached from the outcome, I recenter myself, then that's when you get into the present. And the more you do that, and the more you work through your stuff, and the more you feel your emotions, all both good and bad, that's when you can become a magnet. That's where my fairs come from. Recently, I was asked, like, "Oh, well, how do you have success on your fairs?" Well, I advertise, but then it's also just my magnetizing power. It's just, people just see it and they want to come and they are intrigued, or they feel my energy. So getting into the present moment and allowing yourself to just be in your body and to be in your feminine, that's where you can magnetize all that great stuff. And then also, kind of like what you and I were just talking about, that the more we go and allow us to feel all emotions, all the spectrums, then we can be healing our stuff, allowing us to raise our vibration more and more and more, which then will allow us to get to a state of enlightenment. I've been really having a lot of big shifts, awareness over the last few weeks, days. And I realized to myself today that, this situation came into my life. It was a specific situation, and that it set me up just perfectly. Like, that person and their personality set me up perfectly for my job, for my career, for me to be helping the world where it is now. And it was a huge, I kind of knew that, but it was a more bigger awareness. And so it was extremely enlightening. And I was at a cemetery going for a walk, and I pretty much just cried like a baby, and being so thankful for that opportunity. So the more we can allow that negative emotions, those negative experiences to be healed, the more we can raise that vibration. And then after that, we can be manifesting quicker. We can be attracting in better. And then we can be, again, like what we were talking about, just experiencing life at those higher vibrations. And then when you're at that place of joy and peace and calm, you're just constantly having that, and it's a byproduct of the inner work that we're doing. And so the other thing too is the other power is seeing the ability how a woman can have over a man, and how that who the woman is and the type of how she's showing up, if she has standards or boundaries, how that can literally make a man move mountains to be around that person or to be with that person. So that's also that power too, of that. For a good year, I got my son, I ego boosted my son every time he did anything that was nice, kind, loving, compassionate, anytime. And so now I ask him to do stuff and he just does it. So while there's all these 13-year-olds that just say, hell no, mom, I'm not doing it, he will do it. And he'll do hard things, and he'll just get right up and do it. And so when we boost men and their confidence and their gratitudeness and all the amazing things that they're doing, that also shows the power that we have to be able to, and it's not manipulative. I feel like it is a back and forth. It is a reciprocal, because they're getting things out of return too. They're getting good feelings. We're providing them good feelings. So it is reciprocal. It wasn't manipulative with my son. I want to reward my child for doing good things. I want men, and I want him in the future to do kind, loving things for people that care for him and that he cares for. So I was just teaching him how to show love, and to show that it's you get rewarded when you do good things. And so I feel like it's that same thing with relationships. So so I think when we realize, like, oh golly, like, I'll be like extremely appreciative when this person does these things, and then you're seeing them just do these awesome things for you. It's that's power too. And I think us women forget that when there's a man that cares for you and you are, going above and beyond on appreciation, how they're willing to help you with things and how they're willing to step up. And it's a really beautiful dance and a really beautiful thing. My son and I, we have a very interesting relationship. Very playful, very fun. And I don't think I'd be anywhere close to that if it wasn't for me ego boosting him for a year. Actually, what's funny too was I did it for a year. And then the one day he's like, Mom, you can stop with that. And I was like, you don't want me to do, like you're amazing and you're so great and awesome. And he's like, no, I've heard it enough. And I was like, well, what do you need then? And he's like, I just want to be told thank you. I was like, okay, I respect that. So now he doesn't need it. So I just say thank you. And I think that's how men, I think that's what men like, is they want to be appreciated, not they want to be appreciated and to feel good
I
and
love
to be of
that.
service.
I love that. Two things I will say. You are creating your life. You are the creator. You can manifest your dreams, but you can also be destructive. No, you're a destroyer as well as a creator. They are both the same thing, depending on what you're focused and what you're thinking on. You can destroy as easy as you can create. I also love what Kitsy says about men. The one thing I've learned is men like to be of service. And
Mhm.
women have gotten to this point of, no, I can get that box. No, I can open that door. No, I can do it myself. No, I don't need help. Understand it helps them to help you. So when you can give them something that means something to you to help you, also being grateful and saying thank you, it makes them feel better because they want to do stuff for you. So if you're cutting your partner off or your husband off, no, no, I can handle it. No, no, I can get it. No, no, I don't need that. No, no, you don't have to do that. No, you're not helping. You're actually separating yourself from them because that's for a man. A man wants to be of service. They've, from the beginning of time, they were the hunters. They were the ones that built the house. They were the ones that took care of the family. And we've all gotten this independence, but it's still ingrained in them in lots of different ways, that energy. So if you really want to give a gift to your husband, let them help you. Ask them for help. Be open to receiving because that's really important to them. That's kind of how they're encoded naturally, is to be of service and to help. And once someone's been told so often, they stop asking. They stop offering, they stop helping, they get disconnected a lot in the relationship because their worthiness, their value is based on how much they can give to you. So keep that in mind. Allow them to have value, allow them to feel appreciated, allow them to feel important, that they can contribute for you. Even if you can do it yourself, allow them to help you. It's really important to them. So I'm gonna leave that. Kitsy, this has been so much fun. We could talk forever. We could chat
Wow, I
on
agree.
here forever and ever. I know that we could share with the audience some of the stuff that you offer. We'll have your website on here, but just share with us some of the things that you do and what you offer to the world.
Yeah. So I'm really big on digital courses, and I have a five course program on getting to being a worthy woman, which what I think a lot of society has issues with is that they want to create something, but they aren't at a place where they can really know that they're worthy. And there's a lot of steps involved of getting to that place of raising your vibration and stepping into that worthy woman. And that once you do that, then like really anything's possible. So there's that. And then I have a few other courses on business, on like spiritual business and online business. And then I also offer one-on-one sessions, 6-month programs, and like individual, like six-week type of trainings. So
I love that. I love
thank you.
that. Someday, if I ever get to Pittsburgh, I'll definitely look you up. I think you and I could
Definitely.
hang out for hours together.
For sure. We would have so much stuff in common. I know.
We
I
would
agree.
have so much. I am so glad that you took the opportunity to listen, to watch today. Thank you, Kitsy, for taking the time today to connect, be on the show. You're always welcome to come back. You and I could chat and chat again, and we'll have more conversations in the future. Kitsy shared her sacred magic with us today, and we're most appreciative. Please like, follow, and comment on your favorite channels wherever you're listening or watching. And we hope to see you soon in the future. Thanks so much. And you have a sacred and magical day.
Thank you for joining us. To find out more about Vialet, head over to discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. You can also send a personal message to Vialet through email, violet@discoveryourspiritualgifts.com. If you love the show, subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Until next time, remember, we are meant to have abundant and joyful lives. We hope to see you soon at Discover Your Spiritual Gifts.